Is this mic on? Ugh, so bad with fucking technology.
Mommy, you said the F word.
Sorry, babe. Welcome to Mommy, You Said the F Word. I'm your host, Sarah Goldsborough. I've experienced firsthand the messy, magical, and sometimes maddening world of motherhood. We'll share some laughs and shed some tears as I dive deep into the highs and lows of life, confront loss, chat about career, fitness, creating a life you love, finding yourself again after kids, and who the fuck knows what else. This is a space where authenticity reigns supreme. So get ready to strip away the BS and get candid as fuck. I'm going to greet you guys like I greet my friends. Oh, hey. Hi, I am Sarah Goldsborough, and welcome to my brand new podcast, Mommy, You Said the F Word. And if you are listening to this right now, happy holidays. It was really important for me to drop this podcast before January 1st for one reason and one reason only. I am a big believer in doing things now. Like, just fucking do it. Get it fucking done. Do not wait till January 1st. Do not wait till Monday. Do it now. We wait forever to start new things and do things. We procrastinate, and I am definitely guilty of doing that. But starting this podcast was something that has been in the works for me for a very long time. I would say for about the past year. And it was something that I talked about, and I talked to people who were doing it and was gathering information and doing the research, which was all great. But at some point, I just needed to stop fucking talking about it and just fucking do it. So that's what we're doing right now. And I am dropping this episode before January 1st because it was something that was really important to me. So here we are, and I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. And I am so excited for this coming year. I feel like there is just so many things that I want to talk to you about, and I want you to get to know me a little bit better. So that's what this first episode is going to be about. Just a little introduction, get to know me, and I'm really excited to connect with a lot of you. If you are watching this podcast, you can see that I am in the comfort of my bed because that is where I feel most comfortable. That is where I do a lot of my social media posting. This is where I do writing. And so this is where I'm going to do my podcast. I don't have a fancy podcast setup. I am using what I have, and we're going to make it work because that's what we do around here. We just make shit happen, make it work, figure it out as we go along. Nothing has to be perfect in order to start something new. And I feel like that is really important in life. Is sometimes we wait for the perfect timing, the perfect setup, it's just things are never going to be perfect. I was waiting patiently for my husband to take my son to the basketball court because my house was just noisy, and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to record? There's going to be noise in the background, the dog's fucking barking, and you know what? I'm just going to do what I can do. And if you hear a dog barking occasionally, it is what it is. That's life. So I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am first and foremost a mom. I have a son, Camden. He's 8 years old. He is an amazing kid and so much of my inspiration for not only this podcast, but for everything that I do is inspired from him and being his mom. This podcast, Mommy, You Said the F Word, he was the inspiration behind me calling my podcast that. He is my little censor. He loves to let me know, Mommy, you said the F word. Mommy, you said a bad word. Mommy, you did this. Mommy, you did that. It's just like he calls me out on fucking everything. And I feel like a lot of moms can relate to that because we're just doing our best. They just love to let us know what we're doing wrong all the time. And so anyway, that is where the name comes from. However, Mommy, You Said the F Word which it just has a lot of meaning to me. It means a lot more than just cursing and dropping an F-bomb. It really is just like my mantra, like being authentic and real and raw and just being who you are. Like that is so important to me, and just authenticity and feistiness and just like going for it in life. I feel like all of that is baked into the name Mommy You Said the F Word. It has a lot of meaning behind it for me. We're going to get into all of that. But besides being a mom, I have been married for close to 10 years now. My husband, Larry, shout out to him. He is really the reason why I'm able to do all of the things I'm able to do in my life. I've been a hairstylist for going on 24 years now, but besides that, I have recently become a published author and now starting this podcast. And if it weren't for him, I would have probably no time, energy, or mental space to do all of the creative projects that I really love to do. So shout out to him. He is the man behind the scenes. He set up all my audio equipment and helped me really with the music and just getting my life together and getting this podcast up and running. He is really the one that helped me do all of that. He really picks up the pieces whenever I need his help. He's always there. He's an amazing husband. Shout out to him. Hopefully he'll stop by occasionally and say hi. So like I mentioned, I am a hairstylist, and that has really opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I knew coming out of high school, I did not want to go to college. It just wasn't for me. And I knew I wanted to do hair. And I've always been a very creative person. I honestly can't imagine like working a desk job or like a 9 to 5, same thing every day. That's just not who I am. And so I started doing hair when I was 20 years old, and I was supposed to be signing up for college courses online. Instead, I enrolled in cosmetology school and told my parents after the fact. And at first they weren't too excited, but then they realized very quickly that I was very excited and it was going to be a good move for me. I'm very big on like asking for forgiveness and not permission. And I feel like that's important in life, to sometimes listen to yourself. Even at a young age, I knew I was following my heart, following my gut instincts. And I would have to say in that case, it paid off. And I have really had a lot of wonderful opportunities over the years with doing hair. And it has taught me so much. I have met so many people and just really made some amazing connections. My career has changed a lot since I started doing hair. And I would say it really started changing about 10 years ago. And that's where my journey began, I guess you can say. About 10 years ago, shortly after my husband and I started dating, I got pregnant pretty quickly. So I had 2 pregnancy losses. And then I had my son Camden in 2016. And then I did experience some other pregnancy losses after that. Pregnancy loss has really, miscarriages that I experienced have really, I would say, changed the course of my life over the last decade. And having my son has really changed me, I think, somewhat as a person. I really started doing things differently in my life once I had my son. So all of these things over the last decade have really, I feel like, set the stage, paved the way for where I am now. And I am a huge believer in everything happens for a reason, good and bad. And I do feel like the things that I've experienced over the last 10 years have really gotten me to where I am now. And so just to give you, again, a little background. So when I started having issues with pregnancies, I started having these miscarriages. I didn't know who I could talk to. I didn't know if I should talk about it. But I'm one of these people that just has to get things out. And I started talking to some of my clients who I've become really close with over the years. I started talking to them and talking to some of my close friends about my miscarriages and just how that felt and what I was going through. And then I started sharing some things on social media over the last couple years about my pregnancy losses. And I have in turn really made some deep connections with people in sharing my story and just my experience and my feelings. And I think that has really guided me to where I am now. When I started sharing what I was going through with my friends, my clients, people started opening up to me and sharing with me what they were going through. And I really loved that connection that I was creating with people. And it really was like feeding my soul in a different way that I had never experienced. Doing hair, like I'm passionate about it. It's fun. It feeds that creative outlet. But really diving deep emotionally with people and really sharing really personal things with people really started like feeding my soul in a different way that I had never experienced. And I really loved it. And so that kind of led me to this past year. One of my clients who I've been doing her hair for probably about 5 years, and we have talked about both of our pregnancy losses and miscarriages. I think I started doing her hair right after I had Cam. And now, thankfully, she has 2 little ones at home. But we both shared what we had gone through with our pregnancy losses. This past year, she, during one of her hair appointments, was telling me how she wanted to write about her story. And she wanted to publish it, but not only did she want to write her story of her pregnancy journey, but she wanted to include other women's stories. And of course, she starts telling me about this project and my ears perked up a little bit and I was like asking her more questions about it. And finally, I was just like, do you think that I could be one of your co-authors? I love to write. It's always been an outlet for me. And she was like, yeah. She was like, I think she wanted to ask me, but she didn't want to be too pushy about it. But I was just like instantly, like immediately, yes. I was like, this just seems so in alignment with where I've felt my life going. And I feel like being able to write my story, my journey, it was such a hard time for many years, and to be able to write it all, it was hard. I had to relive a lot of hard moments that I had been through, but being able to write it and have people help me write it in such a beautiful way that I could share it with other women and they could really get that real raw emotion, and it just resonated so much with so many people. And, you know, the book, it's called The Losses We Keep. It just came out in October, so just last month. And it was just received in such an amazing way. The second that, you know, we started getting reviews and feedback from the book, everybody was just like, oh my gosh, like these stories are just, they are touching me so deeply and just helping me heal through my own struggles and my own journey. People started sharing their stories with us on social media, and then we had a book launch event and women stood up and told their stories to a room full of strangers, and it was just so amazing because I feel like the second that you are vulnerable and open yourself up and go deep with people, it's like a domino effect, and it just allows people to tell their truth and to open up and be vulnerable back. And I feel like what you put out, you receive back. And it's so true in this type of situation. And so that has really led me to where I am now. And I knew back when I started writing the book that I wanted to start a podcast to like accompany this journey, but I didn't want the podcast to just be about like my pregnancy loss journey. It's a part of my life and it is a part of my story, but we as women and as mothers, we're so multifaceted, we're so layered, and so I really wanted to have a platform to be able to talk about those real, raw, deep, emotional topics, but also I wanted to be able to talk about the fun, lighthearted things that we all experience in life. So really, once the book was published and it was out there, and it was just being received so well, it gave me that final push to just fucking do it. Just start the podcast, get the momentum going, and really just continue using my voice and telling my story. I feel like women have a tendency to not use their voice all the time, and they feel like their story isn't important. And why does anybody care? Nobody cares about my story. Nobody wants to hear about the things that I've been through. And the truth of the matter is, yes, some people do. And I feel like this is just an amazing way to really create community and really find your people. And some of this may not resonate with everybody, and that's good. It's important in life, I feel like, to find our people and find our community and really, be able to connect authentically and go deep with people. And that's really the main purpose behind me wanting to do a podcast, is really to just make those genuine connections with people and really help women find their voice and make those connections and inspire people. I love that so much. Like I said, that really just feeds my soul. When I talk to my clients and they are telling me about something that like they want to do, like I have had several clients who are very successful in the jobs that they're currently doing, but they're like, I really feel like I want to do something else. And they have these ideas of what they would like to do, but they're just scared because they're so comfortable with the way that their life is right now. And they're like, why change it? It's fine. But I do have these things that I want to do, but I just don't know how to get there. And I love talking them through, okay, like this is like your starting point and here's your goal and let's figure out a way to get the ball rolling. And I fucking love that. I love talking about chasing your dreams, and especially for my clients who are moms and they just have these like dreams and aspirations. I'm like, fucking do it. Fucking go for it. Life is too short. And I love showing my son. I love him seeing me have dreams and aspirations and me actually doing them and fulfilling my dreams, because that's really important for kids to see their parents do, is be successful and really just chase their dreams and go for it. You would be surprised at how much what that does for them and the confidence it gives them. They need to see you being passionate and happy, driven, and that gives them confidence to do things in their life. And so I fucking love that. The people that I admire, I love seeing them do things and chasing their dreams and fulfilling their dreams. That's just amazing. And I think we just need more of that. And I think we just need to open ourselves up a little bit more and not be afraid to share things with people. Because if I would have never shared some of the things that I was going through, I don't know if I would be where I am right now. But it's really getting vulnerable and really opening yourself up. You would be surprised of the people that you attract by doing that, and really like where you can go when you go to that type of place, when you are vulnerable and share your heart with people. You'd be surprised, where that can take you. This first episode, I really just wanted to introduce myself and for you to get to know me a little bit better. And I love listening to podcasts. That's all I do in my car when I'm driving to and from work and running errands. I pretty much always listen to podcasts now. I very rarely just put the radio on. I tend to go back and forth between motivational podcasts and comedy podcasts and definitely true crime podcasts. I love that shit. And I look forward to listening to the podcasts each week. And I feel like you get to know people and you start to feel like you know them and they're your friend. And so I really hope that you start to look forward to listening to my podcast each week. I really want you to get to know me, and I want you to be able to reach out to me on social media and leave me messages and comments and ask me questions. I love to connect with people, and I love to leave funny comments on people's pages. Half the time they don't even respond, but we'll get to know each other better that way. I love to fucking laugh. It's not going to be all like deep stuff all the time, but like I said, that is at the heart of my personal story and the heart of this podcast. And when I was thinking of what I wanted to say during this first episode, I was a little nervous, and this is brand new to me. And so I feel like I always get inspired by, I'll see a quote. I'm always seeing signs I'm big on like signs from the universe and angel numbers and all that shit. Like, I fucking love that. I'm not a super religious person. I know people love to say I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. I feel that way though. I'm not super religious, but I am very spiritual. I'm very connected to, I pick up on energy and signs. And so when I see like a quote that I feel like it always comes to me at the right time. And so when I was like getting ready to record this first episode, one of my girlfriends, she sent me this quote on Instagram, and I'm going to read a little bit of it for you. But I was like, yes, like I fucking needed this right now. So what it says is, I think some of us were just meant to experience life more deeply. We don't watch sunsets, we feel them. We don't want surface level connections. We want connections that feed our soul. And I was like, bitch, yes, like exactly. That is pretty much hit the nail on the head. And it really resonated with me. And my purpose for the podcast is really just making deeper connections with you, and that really just feeds my soul. It really does. And I've been so blessed to really find those deep connections with people. Like I said, I've become really close with some of my clients and some of my friends, and really it's been through being vulnerable with each other and really talking about deeper things that have gone on in our lives. And it's really gotten us to this like closer soul connection place. And I just fucking love that shit. And I just want more of that. I'm a greedy bitch. I just want more deep connections with people. But I really do feel like the world needs more of that right now. The crazy shit that's going on in the world, like, it's so exhausting, and it really just can bring you down sometimes. So I think just the more that we can connect authentically and really find our community and just vibe the fuck out with people like that get it, like I just want more of that. And that's what I would like to create here with all of you. And if you have gotten this far, thank you so much for listening to this first episode. I am so excited to bring you so much more. We need a place where we can just really connect and let loose and laugh and cry and bitch and all the things. And so I hope that this show can be that for all of you. And like I said, I really want to connect with you through social media. So please leave me messages, leave me comments, and I will do my best to connect with all of you. And I look forward to so much more of this. This was fun, and I'm so excited for what's to come. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for listening. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got for right now. So I will see you next time. All right, bye guys. Thank you so much for listening. Show me some love by sharing this episode, and be the first to know when new episodes drop by following the show wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube and follow me on social media at Mommy You Said the F Word.